Oh, yeah. Welcome, everybody, to the Dope Dealers Podcast, episode 96. Yeah, we here in the mix. Well, I'm here, ready and ready to go. Yeah, episode 96. I was just listening to the theme song, and we've been having, the gentleman did it for us about a month ago. And so that was the first time I truly noticed that he said we was taught to double up. And I was like, yes, we were taught to double up. I remember my first sack, I had $25 and turned that shit into 50. And then 50 turned into 100. All in the same day. And you couldn't tell me shit afterwards. I was off and selling crack. Dope Dealers Podcast. Wow, I'm glad to be here. Shout out to the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, the Coast Guard, the National Guard, the Bloods, the Crips, and the Essays.
Yeah.
And wow, speaking of the
Speaking of
military,
essays.
speaking of the military, I was watching the Army Navy game this weekend, over the weekend. That's the only time I watch the military football games, but I always try to every year catch the Army Navy game. And unfortunately, there's some situations that happened at the Army Navy game that has everyone talking and tripping, and I know what I saw. But basically, they had some young military students at the game, and they was tossing a hand sign.
Yep.
And the hand sign says that they were white supremacists, the OK sign.
Yep.
And the way they put it, and the way they did it, and the way they showed it on camera, I know what that means. And they're trying to say, hey, just some kids just having some fun, playing a hand game. Didn't really mean anything by it, but we're going to investigate to make sure, but we're pretty sure they didn't mean anything by it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a lie. They do know what those kids were doing. Because when I seen them throw the sign and the way they positioned it at the side of their body so the camera could actually make sure that the camera caught it, yeah, they weren't just saying it's okay. Because you don't throw the OK sign down by your waist.
Upside down.
From all my gangbanging years, the way they position those hand signs is the way we would position a hand sign when we truly wanted somebody to see what we was from and what we was, what was on our mind. I remember somebody got some, I believe it's why they said we used to throw up signs and just hope you be mad. And that shit was real. Like, yeah, we used to throw up signs and hope they make the motherfucker mad that we threw them up in front of. But, so we always start our show off with, giving a shout out to the military and to the hardworking military people doing the right thing, keeping us safe all over the world. We always salute you, but they got to do something at them academies because we know what those hand signs meant. And anybody who act like they don't know or trying to just say, oh, it's just kids being kids. No. They meant what they fingers portrayed. I think that goes together. But I had to just get that off my chest because I got so much love for the military, but I was really disappointed when I seen that. And hopefully they will investigate it to the fullest. And the students that did it, they'd have to be expelled from out the academy. Can't have that. Can't have racism in the military. Shouldn't have it anywhere, but boy, when it's in the military, it's really fucked up. With that being said, it's Dope Dealer Podcast. Tobe Hixx here, TOBEHIXX. Follow us. Jamal is stuck in traffic again. He's just working on a project that's got him in Long Beach the last few weeks. So Yeah, and he just walked through the door.
There he is.
Yes, I was just telling everybody you working on a project in Long Beach, so you just stuck in traffic.
Yes, yes.
You know, so
Dope dealers.
yeah,
We here.
I haven't even brought Rick in yet.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
No, but I had just gave the shout out to the military, and I had just spoke to them about the gang signs. The signs that white supremacist signs they was throwing on the. Yeah, I seen that, and I know what those mean.
Now some people come to the defense saying it's some kind of game they playing, which I don't believe is bullshit.
Well then,
that's bullshit.
if that's it is some bullshit because I just explained why. But okay, let's just look at it from that. Well then, you know what they need to do right now, immediately? They need to have those kids who threw up the signs tell that story on camera for the American people to see. We were not throwing up white supremacist signs. This is what we were doing. They need to come. You can't hide them then and just say that shit.
Right.
You can't hide the kids and just say that. You know, and like I just explained to them, Jamal, trust me, man, the way they positioned those hands and the way they did it and the way they had them at their side and the way they made sure it hit the camera, that's the same shit we used to do when we was banging.
Yeah, they know.
It ain't no different. They did the same shit we would do.
The white supremacists, a lot of neo-Nazis, they love the military. They get a lot of.
Yeah.
Wasn't Timothy McVeigh was former.
Yeah, he
a
was
lot
in
of
the
them
military.
come from the military, and it's because, you know, they want poor whites, and a lot of poor whites, just like poor Latinos, poor blacks, go to the military.
Go to the military.
And did we bring Rick in?
No, we didn't bring him in yet.
Let's get him in. He might have some opinion about this too, man.
No, I'm listening. It's interesting. I like it.
Well, I was saying that, you know, so poor whites, and, you know, we've done a lot of military gigs overseas, and we've been in the bunkers with them. And it's a lot of
some
racists.
Yeah.
We've been in the bunker. Rick, you probably done
a lot of the white
guys.
guys come from the towns, the poor towns in Kentucky,
Exactly. They come from red states.
You know, and there's not a lot of hope there. You know, you got more hope living in as a homeless person in downtown LA.
Yeah, but you know what though, and you're right. You guys are right in most cases. But this was the academy. In most cases, these are the wealthy white kids.
Well, that's
yes,
true.
That's true too.
This is the wealthy ones.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I was just going with what he was saying as to.
But in general, you're right.
The poor guys, you know, the guys who don't have much, again, not much around them, not much hope to do anything. But you're right. These are kids, and you know what? When I was a young kid getting in trouble. When I was a young kid, my dad threatened me to send me to military school. There was a part of me I wanted to go, and there's a part of me I'm glad I didn't go because I have trouble listening, taking orders. And
me too.
And so it was something very interesting that I wanted to stay away from, and I see that.
And right now, my uncle works at a military school in San Diego, the one in San Diego, the one where people come from all across the nation. A lot of rich people send their kids there when they fucked up, whatever. Yeah. My uncle works there, and you know, this shit is real. They know what they was doing, man.
Oh yeah, we do.
It ain't no doubt about it. It ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it.
Does your uncle witness things? Does he see things?
Yeah. He's seen things. It's racism exists, you know, but this shit is everywhere. But unfortunately, that just, you know, like I said, I tune into that Army-Navy game every year, and that's was hella alarming.
Yeah, I like watching that.
Oh, I just saw the backdrop. We can special up in here now. Toby, Paul, I see we got the guys are watching us on YouTube. You'll see it. That we have a new little backdrop. They got our little picture on there. That's okay. Comedy Pop-Up is stepping up their game.
We moving on up here.
Yeah, moving on up.
Bring Rick in, man.
No, you bring him. You got the intro right. Go ahead, bring him in. Okay. Go ahead, bring him in. I sent you the intro.
I'll bring myself in. Hey, what's up?
No. All bullshit aside, what's funny is that we're gonna bring in Rick. We've been knowing Rick for years. Very talented comedian.
I'm gonna tell you why I wanted you to bring Rick in too.
And then, no, I'm not gonna fuck up his name. I know that's what it was. You like, shit, I can't say his
I was
name.
gonna fuck up his last name.
Yeah, you was gonna fuck it up.
But he's been practicing
you see
here
how
with
slick
me.
I was like, you introduced.
No, I know why. When you said you was late, I was gonna say, you would be late the day that I'm gonna fuck up the intro, huh?
But
see,
Tobe,
Jamal
Tobe said, he goes, I don't think I've done a show where a host didn't fuck your name up.
No, for real. I don't recall anybody getting it right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Benny got it right because he's got used to saying
the
it.
Latino guys sometimes.
But
not all of them.
No, but everybody else, they fucking it up.
Yeah. And it sounds like the word left in Spanish, which is izquierda, but it's no R and a T instead of a D. So izquierda.
So then, go ahead. Go ahead. And I'll say his name. You just do the other part.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's a veteran, funny guy, been on the road with just everybody. Headlines all over the country. You've seen him on Stars TV, the TV show called Stand Up, and he's currently working on a comedy documentary about starting stand-up. We're going to talk to him about that. Dope Dealer Podcast welcomes
Rick Izquieta.
All right, there you go.
Woo, woo, woo.
All right, thank you.
Nigga got it right.
Yeah.
Did you do Comics Unleashed?
Comics Unleashed.
With Byron Allen?
No.
I was just, because I remember what he does, you sit down at the thing and he's right in the middle. And he introduces you, but you're already sitting down, so you kind of see what they wrote for him. And they kind of spell the name out. So I was Doman, and they had D-O-E-M and then a hyphen M-A-N. So I guess so he'll know it's Doman.
Okay, so they hyphenized.
So I was thinking, how was they going to do your I could imagine Byron trying to... how they would have tried to, write it out.
Said, Rick I.
Well, I've written it out for a host many times. I've broken it down. Izquieta, for them, drawn pictures and everything like a key, And then in high school, I coached football. Not my high school, but I coached football like 10 years ago at South Torrance High, and the coach couldn't say my name, so he said Coach I. And so all the students, all the players call me Coach I.
Coach I. That's
all the kids, that would have been hard for them.
Yeah, they just couldn't. They're all white. They're all white. So.
Well, listen, man, it's a pleasure. We've been trying to get you down here for a while. It's a pleasure to have you here, man. Welcome to the Dope Dealers Podcast.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We always have comics on here, man, and we like to talk about the game. We got some other things we're doing too for the hour. But so let's start from the beginning, man. Where you from originally? You from LA?
LA. I grew up in Eagle Rock area.
Eagle Rock.
I went to Eagle Rock High. Lived in Los Feliz. Lived all around LA. Torrance.
Okay.
La Crescenta. Everywhere.
So, how did you start comedy? How did you get into this crazy thing called the stand-up?
I love comedy since I was a teenager. I'd watch it. I'd have like VCR, VHS tapes, and I'd invite friends.
Who's some of the people?
Dom Irera, fucking
Philly guy.
I had that whole Dangerfield.
Dom. Speaking of, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Dom's a great guy. I never forget. I did a set at the Laugh Factory, and Dom was there, and the set went pretty good, but it wasn't great. It wasn't bad, but I'll never forget. He told me, I can't remember exactly how I closed it. But he came up to me afterwards. He was like, Tobe, he said, never close your set with jokes, with political jokes or jokes about sports. He said, because you could work hard the whole set, and then you say something at the end political, or you say something and it's not the right person's team or whatever, and you ruin your whole set. And ever since then, I remember that. I was like, when I thought about it, I said, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Because you somewhere and you closing out a set and you bring up the Lakers. What if it ain't no Laker fans there?
Now
you just ruined your whole motherfucking set by closing with that shit.
With all these Celtics fans.
Yeah. So I always remember Dom. I always appreciate him telling me that.
So you saying the Dangerfield?
Yeah, Andrew Dice Clay. You remember all that Dangerfield one?
Yeah.
I would invite friends over, get them high, and then watch stand up, and then they would just love me for it. And then at the age of 25, I tried it at the Comedy Store. You remember that guy Melrose, Larry Green? He was on Howard Stern, the crazy Jewish guy. He was hosting. It went bad. I had a bad set, and I thought that was it.
Did you have anything written down, or did you just try to go up there and talk?
I tried to go up there and be funny.
Oh, you thought you was like that? Okay.
Yeah, and then I it was so bad that I didn't want to come back at that, and so I took a break for 15 years. And
Whoa! Wow!
Yeah, I just lived a life. I just went and I lived. I was working at a bank, mortgage broker. I was in real estate. I was making pretty good money too. I was in real estate.
So hold on. So You had one bad set, and you didn't perform again for 15 years.
I had such respect for stand up. I said I can't go up there and waste everybody's time like that. That's what I felt. And I said I need to learn how to do that better. And I thought a lot of it had to do living life, like just live life. And I still wrote jokes.
That's what I was gonna say. Was it
I got
really,
OJ jokes.
Was it eating at you the whole 15 years?
Totally was. I was writing jokes. I have still the pad with like Michael Jackson, Clinton, whatever it was, what I was going through
at that time
in those years. Yeah, 90s. It was the 90s. And then I was going on. I took a speech class. I took Toastmasters. This is things where you speak in front of people.
Yeah.
I was in real estate, and I was in the Board of Realtors in the South Bay, and I got into the education committee, and I said, I want to teach a class. I really didn't want to teach people shit. I just wanted to get comfortable in front of a lot of people.
Right.
And I did put together a class and all that, and I did it like for months. And it was just getting myself ready. I knew deep down inside I was getting myself ready.
So what made you, how did the day happen when you finally went back to the club?
The market crashed.
Okay.
I lost a lot of money.
What year was this?
This was 2008.
Okay, you came back in 2008.
Separated in a relationship. Just ended up alone with my dog.
So you weren't married.
I was married with 2 stepchildren. Kids.
Okay. How long were you married?
I was married for about 2 years. With her for about 5.
So do you think the market crashed and ruined your marriage?
The market kind of crashed, and kind of like it all. I was suffering financially, and it made the whole marriage sour.
Yeah.
So,
Ain't no romance without finance.
No.
That's what always ruined my shit.
And so I had to move on. And then I said, this is not what I wanted.
Right.
I know what I wanted, and I've been secretly getting ready for it. So let me go find an open mic. And I went to an open mic in downtown LA.
Okay.
And I had a good set, a very weird feeling. And people came up to me and asked me, how long you been doing stand-up? I go, that was the first time. Because really, it kind of...
It was. After 15 years, that shit don't
I go,
count.
that was the first time. They go, oh, keep doing this. They would tell me, keep doing it because you're good. You just keep doing it. And so, man, I skipped all the way to my car.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? After that, the next day, I got all serious about it, and I scheduled everything, open mics, lunches with people. Like, I treated it like a fucking business, man.
Yeah.
And then I got really addicted to the first days, the first weeks, the first months.
During this time, how was you, where were you working? How were you paying bills while you were getting your strategy
I had
together?
I had a job. I had a job at an asset management company in Torrance.
What the fuck is asset management?
I managed J.P. Morgan Chase's foreclosed properties, which were like hundreds.
Okay.
And I had 3 monitors, and it was a horrible job.
Did it pay pretty good?
No, it paid shitty, and it was horrible. I needed the money though. I needed to get back up on my feet after what happened. I was at FedEx for a while too. And then that's what was helping me pay the bills. And then I lost that job, which was my last job, 3 years into comedy, which was 2012.
Oh man.
I lost that job, and that was my last W-2 job. But I do independent contractor stuff and other things whenever I can. So nothing's set in stone. But coming out at the beginning, first set, this video right here. That video right there is 7 months. This one down here, okay?
Oh, ice, okay.
That one down there is
later on, we're going to play a clip from you.
It's 7 months. 7 months. I'll get on Rudy's show.
Oh, okay. Shout out Rudy Moreno.
So, all right. So you're in the game now. Because you're older when you. I mean, you're not. You're not. I started early
late.
20s. So you're mature. So now
you've been through some shit when you started.
Absolutely.
So now you're in this comedy game. You're in LA. You're in the major leagues. So how are you navigating?
I'm thinking
dealing
chess
with the
game.
politics?
I'm thinking chess game. Everywhere I go, who do I meet?
Right.
Who do I have to know to get more time?
Was it easy or was it hard at the beginning?
Well, it was easy for me because I had that mentality already. You know, I had that mentality in real estate. You know, go knock on the door, go talk to whoever you got to talk to get the deal. You
make
know?
it happen.
Make it happen. This was just fucking stage time. I got dealt with
it's
like
what you
millions
wasn't talking to motherfucker about hundreds of thousands of dollars and shit.
Exactly.
So this is easy.
And so now I'm just stage time. So who do I talk to? And then I had to prove myself.
Right.
And so I would be writing like a madman, writing new stuff, always trying to pick up on stuff, and then going up there and doing it, and going up there and meeting people, and then whoever would go like, "Hey, you're funny, we like you." I go, "What's your name? What do you know? Hey, what's your number? You got shows? You got it?" And so I was like that year one. So that got me, you remember when I came new on the scene, that got me like moving pretty fast. And then I started my own show at La Fonda, which Leslie Jones did some spots there, and Melissa Villaseñor did some spots there, and then next thing you know, I did that for 2 years, and then I went on the road with Willie Barcena, and going on the road with a veteran. It was like it was tough. It wasn't easy. It was tough, especially somebody like Willie.
Somebody
not an easy guy to work with. But
me and Rick met. I think the first time we met, I think maybe officially we met. I'm sure over the years we probably crossed paths, but we did Andre's show, Covington. So we rolled up there together. That's our first time. So we just
shout out to Andre.
Yeah, shout out to
Andre
Covington.
Up there in March. He booked me for that the other day.
Covington, great gig. So we just talked the comedy game, and you told me some stories about being on the road.
Willie left me in Arizona one time.
Huh? What city? Left you in Arizona? Why?
Tell that story. You got to tell that story.
Come on, man.
Well, it's in the comedy documentary, too, that I'm working on.
Okay. So we'll hold on.
I want to tell it's fine. Willie has the tendency of drinking a lot.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah, he drinks a lot. And so, we're in Arizona doing the show, and I, to this point, you got to understand, Willie's come at me like, say, 10 times after a show with fans out there going, "You suck, man. If you listened to me, you'd be better." And then you're just kind of going, wow, like, you don't want to go through that. And so every time that came out, it was like, all right, that's my cue. I'm going to go to the hotel.
Yeah.
I'm done. And then he hated when I was leaving him at bars with fans. And I was like, I'm just out, man.
Done. You do this shit.
Yeah, exactly. And so one of those nights I left, but I didn't go to the hotel. I was walking to the hotel, and I saw a bar full of girls, and so I said, I'm going to go in there and hang out. And I went in there, hung out, and made new friends and everything. And then, the night ends, and I walked to the hotel, and I noticed he was gone. He was gone. He left. He just left the door open in the hotel, and then I was like texting, "Hey, where are you? Where are you?" And then,
was y'all supposed to leave that night?
No, the next day.
The next day.
We were supposed to leave.
So that was the last show.
That was
Saturday night.
Sunday.
That was Sunday night. Y'all was gonna leave on Monday.
Yeah.
So who else was? Nobody. It was just you and him.
Me and him. Yeah.
Okay.
And he just went home Sunday.
So he left you there because you didn't hang out with him.
Yeah. That's his excuse. He said, you're not supposed to leave when I'm at the bars, and I was like, "Fuck you! I was tired of you already. Everything you're doing.
Man.
And I go, exactly. So that we.
So how'd you get home?
The Greyhound.
Oh, that's crazy.
From what city in Arizona?
The Greyhound in Arizona. In Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, so it was about a 6-hour ride.
And then this happens in Arizona.
That's the bus you was on?
Oh, shit. I always said the Greyhound is the projects on wheels. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Rick has a video of him on Greyhound, and I guess it's some...
When Willie Barcena left him in Arizona.
Yo, Greyhound is the projects on wheels.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I did a gig maybe in
horrible.
Bakersfield, so I caught the Greyhound up
I
there.
used to use the Greyhound a lot. Go
So
ahead.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back, and I guess they had just left some prisoners out wherever
Yeah.
they had left some prisoners. So the prisoners was going home to Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah, that's on a lot of the buses.
And I remember this one. I was on my. And one dude looked at me. And
Let
he
me
wasn't
use your
really
phone.
intimidated. He asked me, "Can he use my
Use your
cell phone?"
Hell yeah.
And I'm like looking at him like, I don't know, but I let him
Hey,
use
but he
it.
could.
But,
Yeah, where was he gonna go? He
I
wasn't just
know.
gonna take his shit on the bus. That was a motherfucker who really got out of prison and wanted
Break-
to talk to somebody.
Break the window,
Oh,
disappear with your bus.
Shit.
Nigga, why was you
I was-
uncomfortable?
I was just
Nigga,
like, you gonna give it back to me, right?
Your stepfather was in prison. Why the fuck was you uncomfortable?
Well,
Well,
I got
maybe
a
he wanted to
Don't do the
watch.
podcast.
Maybe he wanted to watch porn on it and jerk off in the bus.
No,
That would have been
shit.
uncomfortable, right?
Shit, man.
Did you back to the Willie?
Yeah.
Willie story.
So what did you say the next time you
Yeah.
seen?
Oh, I was
y'all,
like-
did y'all fight or did you go on the back on the
I
road?
got yelled at him. I sent him an email.
Oh,
I sent him an email saying, "Look, I'm done with you. I'm not working with you anymore. Da da da. You know, this is ridiculous."
So that was the final time you worked with him?
No, I worked with him after that because he wanted to make up for it. He was
okay.
actually, and you know, I was like, you know, wasn't getting any work.
Yeah, that's all
You know,
right.
so he saw I could use the work, but then when we would do the gigs, he was cool with me. He would be like, "Hey, see, we're getting along, right?" And I go, yeah, we're getting along, And he would check, but look, we're friends today, we're cool, but I don't work with him anymore because of what he did with Nick Guerra. He punched.
That's what I was
Nick
gonna
Guerra,
say.
yeah.
When you there? Was you there?
No, I
then?
wasn't there. I wasn't there, but I called him. I found out immediately when it happened. I called him. He didn't answer, and I called Nick because I know Nick too. And then Nick told me the whole story. And then what pissed me off is I've always told, you know, Willie would always.
Just not to cut our listeners, or some of our listeners who may not be, up on all the comedians. We're talking about Willie Barcena, who's like a legendary
12 times on the
Yeah,
12
12
Tonight Show.
more
OG, respected
Tonight Show
Mexican
more than
comedian.
anybody.
But has some
Issues.
has some
Yeah,
issues, has
yeah.
some serious issues.
No secret.
No secret. Everybody just
he
look.
been- yeah, everybody
Talented
know-
comedian, very, very funny. And then Nick Guerra is a young comic who did Last Comic Standing. I
Yeah,
think he
and
did.
HBO. He's getting a
HBO
lot
young
of stuff.
Yeah.
up in the. So I just want to fill y'all in, and maybe you may not be familiar. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
So yeah, he ended up punching him, and then I called him. He didn't answer. Then Nick answered, and then Nick told me the whole story right off.
Yeah, I
the
couldn't
bat.
believe. I'm like, what is Willie doing punching Nick?
Yes, and Nick does jokes about looking like a girl and buying his suit at Build-A-Bear. So it's like and he doesn't fight. And Willie knows
So-
jujitsu.
And
he
he's
fights.
little too.
And he's little.
So
he's tiny.
So Willie, if I remember, Willie said he stole one of his jokes. Is that when?
Yes.
But I
he
hear
stole
Willie
one.
says that to everybody.
Yeah, he's everybody.
Yeah,
He's like
yeah.
he's the Mexican Corey Holcomb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody.
Because Corey tells
Corey's the black one.
everybody stole
Yeah,
Corey
yeah,
joke.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he does say that a lot, and I would tell him, first of all, there's a lot of guys who I've seen do that joke. Number one, and it's a joke about how I think you're having sex missionary style and your arms start shaking.
Oh,
come
Pierre
on,
did that on
really?
Def Comedy
Yeah,
Jam.
exactly. And so, I mean, he could have another joke. It could be another joke. I don't know. But but after that, I have a thing against bullies. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on anybody's side of it. I'm not a Donald Trump fan. I'm not a Putin fan. I'm not any bully fan.
Yeah.
That acts like that. The reason I hung out with Willie is because we actually got along in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like we got along really well.
Yeah.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? How Toby, me hanging out with G Thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you know G Thing. Like me and
Gary
John-
G. Thing
Gary
Johnson.
G Thing Johnson.
Yeah.
Kind of like the black.
Out of St. Louis.
Kind of like the black Willie, like got a lot of issues.
Yeah.
But I was cool with him, like in a weird, like nobody else fucked with him. Toby couldn't stand him.
Yeah.
Nobody could
Yeah,
stand
that's
him.
Yeah, I
Willie,
can't fuck
But I would bring him around and people, but me and him in a weird way,
Yeah.
got the.
Yeah,
now
it was like the odd couple, man. Like, how the
Yeah.
fuck can you get along with this motherfucker,
yeah.
man?
That's
How
I
can
just
you get along
didn't
with
pay
this
him no
nigga?
mind. I just like y'all. I told people y'all pay him too much. I don't really pay him no mind. I know who he is. But it was funny now because I haven't spoken to him in like 2 years. Like we don't speak.
Yeah.
anymore.
I used
think
to
finally-
be
move on.
amazed on how you
Finally,
can hang with that
finally,
nigga.
I had enough. I was like, I'm done. I'm joining everybody else. I ain't
Yeah,
fucking
and
with you
that's
no
how
more.
and that's how it is once you reach a point where you can't You can't. You know.
I mean, they are actually very similar because like G Thing always working, you know, finding jobs. You know,
funny
people
guy,
dig
yeah,
him,
yeah.
talented.
Oh,
same, yeah.
I remember once, you know, I knew of Willie. I knew that he was very talented, but I never really watched him.
Yeah.
One night I was at the Laugh Factory. I guess I was hanging out. He was performing. So I'm upstairs, and this is why I really watched him. Like, he did like a 15, 20-minute set, and I was like, yo, I see what cats, it was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, he's a great
I was like,
comedian.
oh, I see what cats say it. You know, I hear all the other stories. But yeah, as a
great comedian, and I'm really grateful because I met a lot of bookers, I met a lot of fans, I met a lot of, you know, he brought me into that world, and nobody else has. And after I dealt with him, I'm like, I just want to deal with myself before I go opening for somebody else or something. You know, I just want to deal with myself. I just been working on myself, working on getting a headlining gig here and there, and
I
just
seen you
surviving
were
that
at
way.
the Comedy Palace this past weekend.
I'm gonna be there.
Or is it coming up?
Yeah, I'm coming up. The 27th of December, I'm gonna be headlining. They gave me a Friday night to headline 2 shows.
Well, all my people in San Diego, check Rick out. 'Cause you know I used to live in San Diego. At
Yes.
the Comedy Palace, December
27th, Friday, December 27th, and I'm there for New Year's.
Oh, okay.
They brought me down for New Year's as well, and this is my first New Year's job.
Is that Zach? Is that Zach still?
No, it's
Zach is not doing it no more?
Bijan, but the owner Tony.
Tony.
Yeah.
Tony likes me, so Tony just
I've done it a couple times.
he just like talks straight to me. I don't have that with every owner. It's like it's like one of the only places that are cool with me like that. You know.
Yeah. Now let's talk about this documentary.
Yeah. It's,
So what is that about?
well, like 4 years ago, I decided to try and, you know, after the whole Greyhound bus thing, you know, with Willie, after that thing, I really felt like comedy was weird. You know, it hit me weird, and I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to share about what I've been through, you know, all the nightmares and all the crazy stuff. And so we were thinking of first doing an hour special, trying to work on my hour special, but then I was like, who am I? I mean, like, not a lot of people know me yet. So let me tell the story before I do my story about me doing stand-up, or, you know, right then and there. Why don't I tell the story of how I started, how I got into this, and why don't I interview other comedians too? And so I reached out to about 150 comedians. The last ones I like to do it in a fair way. The only way I could think of is on Facebook Messenger, the last 150 that I talked to. You know, and so I just sent out copy paste, 150. 100 said okay, and then 50 showed up, and so I only got a third out of what I reached out. I only got a third that came through, which was enough. Which was because it's still a lot. It's still too much. So I interviewed 50 comedians, and they're all from the 1-year person to the 20-year person. So it varies. It's all varies. Now, what it's turned into, in a very interesting way, because it's been 4 years, is some of the guys that I have on there have grown. You know, Josh Adam Myers, Jeremiah Watkins, Fahim Anwar, Eric Schwartz, Jerry Garcia. You know, they've gotten Nick Guerra. They've gotten so many opportunities. Even Jack Jr., I interviewed him there. He doesn't have any TV stuff, but where he was at then, he was just kind of like starting out. You know, like, I mean, not starting out, but he's still fresh. And then where he's at now, he's headlining a lot of clubs. He's moving. He's hustling. And so that's what my whole thing about the documentary has come to be, is achievements. And even, you know, if you have the achievement of getting HBO or getting Comedy Central, we still have those achievements that we personally know between us, like your first time on the marquee. You know, you know, like your first time working every Friday, Saturday in a month. You know, you keep that log. You keep that. You give yourself that trophy every time. Because that's the only thing that lets you survive. The first time a celebrity taps you on, like a really well-known celebrity taps you on your shoulder and goes, "That was funny."
That's true.
And so I always saw that as a graduating moment for me. Every little achievement. That's what people say. How do you do it? 10 years. How do you do it? You know, you guys are longer than me. You know, it's just, I feel it's just those achievements, because it's all about the journey.
That is
mostly.
true.
It's all about the journey.
No, so is it done, or is it?
It's not done yet.
It's not done yet.
It's not. So this is the twist right now where I'm at today, is I want it done, but now today I think I want to interview some of these guys again, and show them the interview 4 years ago, where they were at, and get their feeling today. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so see where they, watch them themselves right there, film it all fresh, and then catch them. And so far, some of them said yes. They're like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. It's just me putting it together and all that stuff.
Are you're filming it? You're doing the editing
Yeah,
and all that stuff?
yeah. Me and my brother owns a production company
Mm-hmm.
called Film Currency. His name is Adrian. He's a great filmmaker. I'm partners with him because I've helped him in the last 7 years on how to put something together.
Mm-hmm.
And today he's got a job. He's got his own apartment, his girlfriend, his dog. All the way from
All
living
the
on
shit
the
you had.
on the sofa.
All the shit you
Yeah,
had.
all living on the sofa, and I've just kind of guided him, and I'm really proud of him.
Mm-hmm.
He become really successful, and he put a lot of that footage together, for the documentary, and so we put that together, and he edits, but we also get other editors to help us because it's a lot of work, and he works at Revolt.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Did you guys do any of the stand-up?
No,
we
no.
didn't do it.
I just heard about it. We.
I've been
sometimes-
trying. I've been sending my tape, and the first was all black guys, right? It's all I guess they don't want me. And then the second one, he tried to submit me again, and then no, I don't think he did this time because he said they were going to pick all black guys again. He goes, why are we going to do it? They're going to pick all black again. And then this time they picked Asian, Latino. They picked different ones. And so this time didn't submit, but I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's where you're at. It's where your calendar, where your path takes. It's such a universe thing,
Mm-hmm.
It's such a we're meteors flying around, and every now and then we either support each other, crash into each other, say hi to each other.
That's
it's just
true.
nuts like that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Now, I want to, maybe some of our listeners are not familiar with you and don't know how funny you are. I want to play one of your
thanks.
stand-up clips, man.
Oh, man. Can I give you one?
Well, I was on YouTube. Do you have a particular one?
Yeah. You know why? Because it's a new one.
Okay.
It's a new one, and I think, you know what? Here, let me give it to you over here.
Send it to
I'll send it to you right now, okay? And it's just you'll relate with it, Toby, because it's about marijuana.
Oh, okay. All right.
You relate. You like this, dude.
Yeah.
I know. It's been fun because, and I.
Oh, you used to, hold on. Didn't you live next to Bob Marley's brother?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, shit,
yes.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about you playing American football, too.
Oh, yeah,
right?
in Mexico.
In Mexico.
Yes.
You don't seem that big. So
No.
I'm like, what position did you play?
Oh, I was small in high school, too. I sucked in high school here. When I played in Eagle Rock, I sucked. But then I kept playing. I wanted to play. And then I played on the LA Outlaws, which we practiced at LA City College. And it was
remember that.
It was a semi-pro team, and we would play against Victorville Fire Department and Irwin.
What was your position?
I was a receiver. I was
receiver,
always
okay.
receiver. I was always
You
a
were just
receiver.
out there.
You fast?
Yeah, fast.
You
Very
were just
fast.
out there getting brain damage for nothing.
Yes,
huh?
absolutely.
Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah, LA Outlaws was dirty. It was prison ball. I was getting cut in the legs and everything, and it was just. But then my dad sends me to school in Mexico, and then I find out they have a football team down there. University I was attending, so I tried out, made it, played 2 years on there, receiver. Actually, I was trying to play corner and safety, but I didn't have a good reaction. Like I didn't have a good tackling reaction.
Okay.
I had good hands.
That
I had
ain't
good
the
hands.
position for you then.
I had good hands. Yeah, it wasn't the position for it. So then one day on offense, the tight end on the team can't catch the ball. And then the coach goes, who can catch the fucking ball? And I go, I can. And so I got the tight end position for the rest of the season, which was like 3/4 of the rest of the season.
By just speaking up
By
for
just
it.
speaking up and looking small.
Yeah.
Like we were known as that weird team with the small tight end.
Yeah, because I would you would definitely be the smallest tight end I've ever seen.
Yeah, and it was tricky because I love to hit, and so I was like third, fourth year. So third, fourth year of football, nothing bothers you anymore. But first year, second year, you're still butterflies. Third, fourth year, you're like, let's get it.
All right, so let's play this clip. This is check you out.
Okay.
He gonna
About smoking
fight.
weed. The old marijuana. All right, this is quite free now. It's quite very boisterous. Back in the days, 20 years ago, anybody here smoke marijuana? Shut up. I think he noticed we're high. Shut up. You smell, motherfucker. Not today. Woo!
different today. You got to admit, marijuana lost its magic. Lost its magic. The hiding part was the fun part. Hiding it. Come on, people. That was the best. I like the paranoia high. I have Mission Impossible playing in my head. Dun, 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 doo-doo. The cop's over there and I'm high as fuck. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. Dun, 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 dun. Just me? Yeah, man, you got to admit, that's the fun part. You can buy marijuana at a store today. I remember buying it in a car. Remember, all financial transaction at lab level. Crumble the money up. Don't look at the weed. Get out of the car. All right, later. Yeah, that's how we did it. It lost its magic. Lost its magic. Come on, you remember we used to go to a family reunion and you would see that other relative that smoked and you had to keep it on the low key and you'd give them the signal. Caw-caw! 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 And you had to answer back. Caw-caw! 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 Mama! Caw-caw! Remember that shit? And then you had to make the announcement to the rest of the family. We're going for a walk. Doctor says I have to walk 20 minutes before I eat turkey. And then you go for your walk. Dun, 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 dun. You got the weed, I got the lighter. You got the pipe, I got the eye drops. You got the mints, I got the cologne. Let's do it. Dun, 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 dun. Right? Right? You had to hide it. That was fun. Yeah, and you come back. You come back to the party. Hey! What's up? And then grandma's like, he's always so happy. It's different today. Today, grandma comes out with a 6-foot bong. Has to tell stories about how she blew 3 guys at Woodstock for weed. It's totally different. Okay, just my grandma. Fuck you guys, man.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Funny, 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 man. How do you?
That's new. That's all new, fresh stuff I'm working on.
Now, if someone asks you, sometimes I get this question: how would you explain your what is your comedy style?
Yeah. Man.
I always kind of hate that question.
I hate that. Yeah.
But I'm asking you. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, I talk about my family a lot because they're very funny, very dysfunctional family. Got a lot of characters in my family. And sports, because I played sports in very rare places, Mexico, and Latino, being Latinos, as much as I always tried to stay away from it, I kind of came to the realization at one point is that's my culture. That's my roots. I can't really, I don't want to get sucked into the Latino scene, and that's all I get. I do Spanish now. I've done Spanish shows.
How those shows went?
Very interesting. First 5 difficult, but then after that, riding a bike again. Because I speak fluent Spanish. I went to school in Mexico, so I know all the. One thing that Spanish people will criticize, Spanish audience, is if you don't have good grammar. In Spanish, you could screw up the grammar. Like a lot of people here do the pocho Spanish, Spanglish. And there was a comedian that was introducing me, and he was a little bit nervous doing his Spanish, and you can tell. And he was like, he was like stuttering, and he's not a stutterer.
Yeah.
And so in Spanish, I called him, hey, give it up for the stutterer, and everybody laughed because I could tell they're all judging him because he's not speaking Spanish properly.
Proper Spanish.
Yeah, and then there's the cultures: Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Ecuador. So everything's different.
Right.
But one thing that everybody
in Latin America ties together with is Univision, which is in Mexico. And so Latin America ties like everything Mexico because Mexico was kind of the first on the scene to give arts through TV, through through film and all that stuff. Even though there was other countries doing it, they just didn't shine as much as Mexico did, and Cuba a little bit, but that's the hard part is directing and communicating with a Puerto Rican, a Colombian, and a Mexican in the same room. And so what you don't want to do is you don't want, especially in LA, because a lot of Mexicans, is I don't want to go up there and, oye, chico, más grande, cosa más grande, chico, do a Cuban thing, because they'd be like, fuck these pinche Cubans. You know what I mean? Like, they hate people who speak fast. And so I have to be Mexican. And I get that. My parents are from Ecuador. So we talk like rápido, hablamos muy bien, a little bit singing in it. It's very different. But I lived in Mexico for 2 years. So when I lived in Mexico, pues me enseñaron a hablar, que no mames, y que chingada,
Damn,
so,
I never thought about all these differences.
Oh, shit, it's a headache. And so the reason I'm doing good is because I have that Mexican touch with good grammar. Because there's Mexican comedians, too, that they got the touch, but they don't have the grammar.
Right, okay.
Because they never went down there. I went down there, I had to deal with the grammar and speak in front of other people in Spanish and all that stuff. So, it's been interesting, right? But I don't want it to be all about that. Because my main language is English.
How's the Spanish shows? How's the pay? Like, when it comes to say Spanish and English, is it comparable or how's it work?
Well, because it's starting out, it's quite
pretty low.
It's quite low, because they're still trying to get people out. People are not coming. They're not used to it. For many generations, Spanish comedy was all about the
physical comedy.
Like a circus thing. And then, like I'd say a decade ago, or almost a decade and a half ago, stand-up. They call it el stand-up, and it's going through Mexico. It's going through all Latin America, South America, and it's on the internet.
Right. Yeah, I know Felipe and Rodrigo, they're doing Spanish comedy.
I've done it with Felipe too.
Yeah, they're enjoying it. I mean, who's the big, like when it comes to, say, in English, a Latino comedian in English that's big also in Spanish. Is there anybody already that's doing really well in Spanish and English that you can think of?
When you're doing comedy in the underground scene, you see that comedian that others haven't. And you say, "Fuck, that guy was funny."
Yeah.
I run into a lot of that in Spanish. Like nobody knows them, and all of a sudden they're funny.
That's what I mean. Like that's what I was trying to figure out. Is there anybody that is doing good in English and Spanish that you can think of?
Richard Villa is a guy that is doing both, and I believe successfully doing well in both. I don't know the true story about it, but apparently, he's doing well. But when I look at comedy-wise, I see English and I see Spanish. The one comedian that comes to mind that does it so well in both, and very much like American style, is Cisco. Cisco. Who's Cisco Lucian, that dude, I haven't seen anybody do it in Spanish and in English equally good.
Okay, that's what I was trying to see. Who is at that? Well, that's
whether it's bringing him success, I don't know. But from what I've seen, me being in the audience and him, both English and Spanish, he's great. Like he's really good. He's a good comedian, and he's doing it in Spanish as well. When it comes to other comedians, I just don't know. Like Felipe, I saw Felipe is hilarious in English, and in Spanish he is too, because he's allowing his personality to come out. But his Spanish is not so great as grammar wise. But he gets around that. Like he gets around that because of his personality. Okay. And he'll sit up there, laugh about it. But I can also tell, I'll do research. I'll do research before I do a show. Because it's like I have a joke that I have to say underground. And I'm like, how do you say that in Spanish? And then I look it up, and it's subterráneo. Subterráneo is underground. And so then I make a mental note. And so when that word came as I'm doing that joke, I would say it, and it worked. And sometimes I would say it, and it doesn't work. You know, so it's a big mystery again. Used to, you know.
How much of your material that you have like right now that you do like say in English and Spanish that works? Like I mean, do you have
50%.
you have a good,
probably.
and then you have certain shit that you speak about that you can only do in front of in Spanish that you would never do in English or vice versa.
Yeah. That's definite. That's a definite yes. But mixing them, you know, up has been fun, and I get white people after shows coming up to me and say, you know, I didn't know what a panocha is until I figured it out after your show. That's great, man. I love your stuff. He goes, I remember a white dude going, I can't understand what you're saying, but fuck, man, I'm having fun. You know, and that's really interesting.
That's wow, that's remarkable. That's a great compliment when someone tells you that.
Yeah, especially white people who have a hard time understanding any culture.
Yeah,
you know, like they're not as open minded as many of us are. You know, to other cultures. You know.
So we do this thing called top 7. I'm just going to ask you 7 questions. Whatever comes to your
penis.
All right. Favorite city to perform in?
El Paso.
I like El Paso comic strip. Shout out to
come on, Bart, book me.
Well, everybody's saying everybody's
Bart
saying
ain't had us down there in the wild either.
I don't know what's Bart doing down there, man. If you could have a superpower, one superpower, what would it be?
Oh man, probably be invisible.
Oh, okay.
That's
I think
what most people
a lot of people say
invisible.
Yeah.
If you were Olympian, this may go with your speed.
Oh.
If you were Olympian, what sport would it be?
Oh, track.
So
It'd be 100 meters.
100 meters.
I'd love to blow everybody away.
All right, cool. Last album you bought. It could be iTunes, somebody, or it could be physical, whatever.
Holy shit.
Last album you bought.
That's a good one. Huh?
That's a good one. The last one I bought, I want to say I think it was Jack. What's his name? Jack Knight? No, wait, not Jack Knight.
Jack Johnson?
No, not Jack Johnson.
Said Jack Johnson. The fighter?
No, it's a group. It's a rock group called Jack Johnson.
The Deadly Winner. The Deadly. Which one? Jack. The Deadly.
Yeah, how many years ago was that?
Yeah, a long time ago, man.
You ain't bought. No.
I've been pirating everything else now.
I was going to say you steal all your music.
That's hilarious. When you get it, we'll come back to that. You had a 1 hour. If you had a 1 hour special, what would the title? What it would be called?
My 1 hour special would probably be.
You got a name for it?
Oh, shit.
No, you know. I don't have a name for it, but I'm gonna say "Dick in Your Face" just because. Okay, just because. Just because. Okay, I just finished a set at a show, and I had a really good set, and it came off, and one of these comedians came up to me, and you know when you just come off a set, you're just like, man.
Adrenaline's flowing,
right?
Yeah.
And so this one of the comedians go up to, they go, man, that was great what you did up there, and I just said, yeah, just slap my dick in their faces, man. That's what you got to do. Like I was trying to teach them, you know, like you know how they say, you know. And I told them this. I go, you know how they say, when you speak in front of somebody, make sure that you undress them, that they're naked. Then you'll be comfortable.
Yeah, look at them as if they're naked.
I go, in comedy, you better slap your dick in their face. You don't want to care. You just want to come out, ba 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 ba. And then this other comedian goes, did you just say slap dick in your face? I said, yeah, slap dick. I slap the dicks in, I slap my dick in their faces. That's how I see it. That's how I see a successful show.
Right.
That is true. That is true.
Is that true? Okay, good. I don't know if I'd call it that. I'm sure a lot of producers would say no.
Yeah, that one might not. Yeah, they might not want to.
You put it straight to YouTube. Put it straight to YouTube.
Maybe you can do like an innuendo, something that sounds like it. Anyways.
Two more. Where we at? Favorite joke to tell? You have a favorite joke?
Well, that's funny that comes up now because slap dicks in face. I think hot dog joke was always a fun joke to tell, and that's about the bacon wrap hot dogs that they sell.
Yeah.
And I say make fun of those little guys, which I think I got assaulted one time because of that.
After a show?
Yeah, I did get assaulted. Some guy came and hit me in the back of my head. Bar Pico in Santa Monica. This happened in 2012, man.
For what?
I think he was one of those bacon wrap hot dog guy because I finished with that joke, and everybody was laughing. And then he was short, little Mexican dude. And then I walked like 5 steps off the stage, and I felt something coming, and I got hit in the back of the head. But then I bent my knees and spun around and got him behind the knees and picked him up and I slammed it to the ground and started wailing on him. And then somebody pulled me off and then I was screaming, "Hey, hit me first, hit me first!" And then
Damn, was any other comedian? I mean, who was there?
the only other person,
know.
the only other
Anybody?
person that was there was Chris Strait.
Oh, okay.
Who's in Torrance, but he left early. He
Oh,
left
so he
early.
didn't see this
He
shit.
didn't see it. He didn't see it.
Shout
And then-
out to Chris.
but
Left
there's
before the violence happened. That's how white people do. They always leave before the shit happened.
But there's a video somewhere out there where because I was recording myself. And it's in my old computer. I gotta look for it. But you can hear the audio. You can hear the fight go down. So it was crazy. But
Damn, I had a video like that too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You got a video.
But I did the punching. I didn't get punched first. I punched first.
All right, last question.
All
Your go-to song when you're about to have sex. You got a go-to
He
song?
ain't bought an album
That's
in
it.
years.
That's Sade. That's Sade.
Oh, which one?
Wow.
Oh, it's her
Smooth
greatest-
Operator?
Yeah,
Oh,
Smooth
yeah, okay.
Operator. Well, actually, Smooth Operator is one, right?
Yeah,
It's not. Smooth Operators.
Man, I always wanted to fuck
Oh,
Sade,
everybody. She
boy.
still look good to this
Hey,
day.
Yeah, she still
hey, if
look
you're
good.
listening, remember.
I sure wanted to fuck Sade.
All right, we're gonna do. I know we don't have too much time left. We got this thing. We do this thing
All right.
called the dope of the week. We haven't did the dope of the week, but this story came about, and I just had the dope of the week, ladies and gentlemen. This week, his name is Orlando Henderson. Orlando Henderson.
What this nigga do?
He's an employee at Charlotte Financial Institution.
Oh, yeah.
He allegedly stole money from the deposits made by customers that was held in a vote on 18 separate occasions in 2019. They said he stole up to $88,000.
How did he steal the money?
He works at the bank,
Yeah.
so I guess he
Somehow
had
he had
access to the
access.
vote.
Yeah.
The reason they caught him, Rick, because he was on Instagram posting pictures
Of him with money.
the money.
How could he be? I
That's
mean,
how they
how
caught
could
it.
somebody be that dumb, homie?
Yeah,
Like,
it's-
seriously.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Please keep him forever in jail.
Authorities were able to track Henderson's activity because he showed them the money via his social media. Henderson posted pictures to Facebook and Instagram showing him holding stacks of stolen money and things he purchased with the cash. In July, Henderson allegedly stole $70,000 from the vote and then made a $20,000 cash down payment on a 2000 Mercedes. You can't be this stupid.
No, you know what? I
can't
think,
be this
You know what I think? I think there needs to be a category. You know how there's like murders and robbery, and it's not the same
He didn't
thing.
remember the old, yeah.
But I think there needs to be a category as like idiot.
Yeah, he
okay?
should get life just for being stupid.
Yeah, for stupid, and he can never own a gun, and he can never own a house, and never own a car. Don't want him behind the wheel. I don't think he can function at a job. You know, keep him.
Yeah, I can't.
So police were also able to monitor his movements because Henderson would typically deposit the stolen money into an ATM near the bank where he worked at. So he just went right down the block and deposited. Like they not gonna notice money missing and didn't see that you deposited money 2 hours later.
How old was this motherfucker,
He young,
man?
young, stupid.
No, he
motherfucker.
ain't that young. If he got a job like that, they ain't letting no. I mean, he ain't that.
No,
I mean,
what
there's-
city? What city? It's in
Charlotte,
Carolina.
Charlotte.
Carolina.
Henderson also falsified several documents to receive loans, like the one he used to. So he thought he could get away with it. He tried to show him, I got the money from loans.
Oh.
So So I guess he figured they catch me, I'm gonna just say I got the money from loans.
What an idiot.
Additionally, he destroyed documents and doctored the bank's books in an attempt to cover it up. So he was
Oh, man.
What an
Just
idiot.
yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, he's a
Dope of the week.
Oh, he is the dope. He might be the dope of the year. We got to do we may have to
Oh,
look
it's
at
a
all.
lot of I mean, he's a dope, but yeah, I think it's some stupid
He
shit
might-
being done. But that is
Now
up
that
there.
the top that.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Oh my God! So yeah, it's a bunch of pictures of him just posting money.
You know what I find really funny is like there's so many cameras everywhere. I don't know. When I go places, I look up. You know, there's a camera here. There's a camera here. Because there's just cameras everywhere. So when I see these guys getting caught, it's like, didn't they think about the camera? You know, don't they think about the situation of the camera? They're gonna get caught.
I'm gonna go back. I used to I used to work at a store. I'm not even gonna say the name. I used to work at a store, and it was a long time ago when I first got to LA. And I used to take $20 out the cash register. You know, every once in a while I was fucked up because I was fucked up back in them days. But I knew where the camera was angled at, and I knew.
Oh yeah.
I kind of knew where they not gonna see it.
Hey, man, hold on. A lot of bullshit coming out about you lately. You've been explaining. Now you a thief.
And the way I would
Who we with?
and the way I would balance the $20 back, like somebody say you come in and buy a Snickers bar, you give me $1. I would act like I'm ringing it up, but I actually didn't.
Yeah, so you had to do.
So I would do that until
20
until
bars.
get $20 back.
Yeah.
Allegedly, that's allegedly, y'all.
Yeah, that's.
So he's the Orlando Henderson, and first name I don't know. He spells his name with an AR. That shit is. He was Orlando.
Orlando.
Yeah, that's the dumb shit
God.
his parents did right there. That started it all.
Orlando.
Oh my God, you can't be that
That's
dumb.
where it starts.
But I guess he
Starts
is
with the
that
parents.
dumb, man. So yeah, man, Rick, we appreciate you coming down here.
Thank
man,
you for
chilling
having
with
me.
us,
I
man.
appreciate you guys, man. Thank you very much. It's been a fun show, man.
So-
You guys-
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
Tell everybody where can they find you at, what you got going on, and all that stuff.
The very easiest way is my website, rickiz.com, RICKIZ.com. Just go to calendar. That's usually the most updated thing on my website. RICKIZ, as in zebra.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then look out for Making a Comedian, hopefully coming out next year. I'm shooting for 2020 now. I was shooting for 2018
Yeah, it'll be done.
and then
It'll be
19.
done. No,
not 20.
it'll be done. It'll be done this year. Fuck
Yeah.
shooting for you, just get it done.
Yeah. So it's excited about it, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of what you guys go through on a weekend basis, on a weekly basis.
Well, definitely when it's ready to come, come back on the show and listen, man.
Thank you.
We'd love to have you back on the show.
Yeah.
Toby, just real quick, he's 29 years old. It's Orlando Anderson, and he was arrested in San Diego on December 4th.
See, that's what I'm saying. He's too old for that. He should know. He know better. Than
How old was he? 29?
29. He almost 30 years old. You know better than that.
Yeah.
He carries a maximum of 40 years in prison and $1.25 million fine. So,
Oh.
He gonna get 10. He gonna get a hot 10.
Yeah, right.
and do you get clowned? Like I don't know. Like
yes.
If I'm in the prison with him, I will clown
They
him
gonna
every
clown,
time. Like
bro.
you dumb
Yeah,
mother.
They
Right.
go every day. He's gonna get clowned. What do you mean that will he get clowned?
So he
Hell
okay?
Yeah.
Here's the asshole that was
Yeah, this
posting on
motherfucker.
social media. This
Just
dumb
think,
motherfucker.
the OGs that's been in there, they're gonna be like, this dumb motherfucker.
They probably have the face tattoo clown on him.
Oh man, listen.
But
so what you got going on, man?
go ahead. I want to end with some of this related to the jail. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, do I got anything going on? I feel like I got a show coming up. Victorville, that's right. Thursday,
Yeah.
I'm in Victorville.
Yeah.
Green Tree Inn this Thursday. I'm in
JT
Victorville.
Turner.
JT Turner.
Man, that's always a great
Yeah,
show.
I'm looking forward to going to there, man. So see me, JT Turner is the host. Is at the Green Tree Inn. The Green
Yes.
Tree Inn.
Yes.
This Thursday, Victorville, 8 p.m. show.
Yes.
So come see me. Y'all.
Yeah,
Show
that'd
your
be
boys some
great.
love, man.
Yeah.
Before we go, today was a fucked up day for a lot of people back in my hometown of Omaha, Nebraska. It was a day, a childhood friend of mine, his son got sentenced today to 95 years in prison,
goodness.
95 to life for murder.
Wow.
Like I said, back home in Omaha, I'm just we just devastated that that Keandre Kellogg killed another young kid. He killed a kid, Jeremy Plater. Keandre was 25 at the time, so he's got 25, getting 95. And then Jeremy Plater that he killed was 22 years old with 7 children.
Shit.
What?
7 children.
My little,
Wow.
like my little brother.
22.
And I just don't know. I'm saddened by it because I know the kid. I've been knowing him his whole life, and I knew he was a good kid. And unfortunately, he was just dealt a rough hand by shit that his parents did and didn't do.
Right.
And unfortunately, this is the result of it. And he shot the
That's
kid.
not the one at the football game, was it? That wasn't. That wasn't.
Nah.
Okay, all right.
So he killed. And I just remember listening to he killed him at a gas station in Omaha, and the way the news explained it, every pump was full. So the gas station was packed, and he did this. So unfortunately, Keandre Kellogg, will never be coming home, and unfortunately, neither will Jeremy Plater. So shout out to both the families.
And you knew the father of.
Yeah, that's my boy. I mean, we grew up across the street from
Have you
each other
talked to
whole
him?
life. Not today, no,
Okay, yeah.
no.
I know he had, man. Prayers out to that family. Prayers
Yeah.
out to both families. Just an unfortunate, tragic
and
situation.
I mean, a young man, 22 years old, all these, the kids with no father. It's just devastating.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying all that to say a lot of shit like that goes on back in my hometown of Omaha, Nebraska, and it's just very sad. I mean, I remember when I was a child, and we got to get out of here. When I was a kid, there were 2 funeral homes in the hood. Now it's like 6 of them.
Shit.
So shout out to the families. I'm just devastated by this. I know everybody back home is. It's a Dope Dealer podcast. That wasn't no dope dealer shit though, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, man. Well, prayers out to everybody, man, the family, man. We appreciate everybody listening, man. We love you guys, man. Dope Dealers.